Hey, what's up guys? It's Pete here with MixBetterNow.com, and today I have a plugin review for you that I'm really excited about. This is the new Acme Opticom XLA-3 Compressor from Dirk and the boys at Brainwork and Plugin-Alliance. We're going to get into it. We're going to throw it on a bunch of different tracks. We're going to hear what it sounds like. But before we do that, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe, please hit like, and please click on the link in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. When you sign up for the email list, I will send you my free swag bag full of all kinds of free stuff like multi-track sessions, mix templates, drum samples, impulse responses, all kinds of cool stuff. So please check it out. All right, I have a session pulled open here. This is the Acme Opticom. It's bypassed right now. I'm just going to play a little bit of this track for you so you can hear what it sounds like.
And I'll try, and not just try. Down I-95, I got Georgia on my mind. It's the kind of time when the sun looks through the sky. Are we gonna get there tonight?
All right, so I just want to state that I will never do a plugin review or walkthrough of anything that I don't personally love, use, or enjoy. And I gotta say that the Acme Opticom is quickly finding its way all over my mixes. I'm using this thing everywhere and on everything. It is a tube-powered optical compressor. This is an emulation of an actual piece of hardware. And what's so incredible about it is that it is so diverse in terms of what you can put it on. When we think of, classic optical compressors like the LA2A, etc., you think, yeah, vocals, bass, things like that. But I'll tell you, this thing really sounds great on the mix bus. It really sounds great on drums. It really sounds great on guitars, especially acoustic guitars. It really smooths the transients really nicely and glues everything. So I'm obviously a big fan of this plugin. So let me show you the interface here. It's a beautiful GUI. There's a few extra features that Brainwork has added that are not on the analog piece. And those three things are, we have a dry-wet mix knob right below the gain reduction meter here. So, that's brilliant. We can do some parallel compression right on the track. We don't have to set up an effects end or anything like that. We have a built-in noise floor. With the knob right here, we can adjust that to taste. We also have an output trim knob right here below the input and output meter, which is also extremely useful. There is a -15 dB pad, and we can engage that by hovering the mouse over the input gain and double clicking. With the output gain, we can double click on this knob, and that will actually unlink the stereo compressor. Very, very useful and handy tool. And one of my favorite things about this is we have these response times. So there's a slow, normal, and fast. And I'm just going to read a little excerpt here from the manual. Each compression response treats sounds in a totally different way, affecting spectral regions with varying envelope behaviors and distortion characteristics. So it's a little bit more than just, different attack and release times. I find that when you have the compressor working on slow, normal, or fast, and depending on how hard you drive it, it will behave differently, it will sound differently, and you will get different tonality, more so than just different compression. You might get, for example, on the fast, I find that, there's a little bit of high end, something around 3K, that kind of just adds a little bit of sparkle and shine to the sound. On the fast setting also, I find that it has the most harmonic breakup, the most harmonic distortion. So you really have to kind of play around with it and experiment with the settings to find out which is appropriate for whatever track you're compressing. Now, one last feature here, it has an amp mode, and what's great about the amp mode is that when we move this knob all the way to the left here so that the white dot is facing amp, that bypasses the compressor in the plugin, so it just allows audio to be passed through, and it kind of lets us use the Acme as like a harmonic distortion box or a color box. And this is great because, you could throw it as like the last plugin on your mix bus, or you could throw it on your drum bus, and you can really drive it and get a lot of that analog character, from all of that modeling of the tubes and the transformers and all that good stuff inside this compressor. Really, really a nice touch and a nice feature to have. When this is set to out, the compressor is obviously bypassed, and then when it's on in, we have compression. Lastly, I just want to make a note of something. The way that this compressor works is slightly different than your typical optical compressors. So on your typical LA2A style, you'll have a gain reduction knob and you'll have a volume knob. So how much compression you want to do, you will use the gain reduction and apply that, and then use your volume knob for makeup gain. Now this is slightly different. This is more akin to an 1176. The way that we get our compression is we drive the input gain, and that's how much, that determines how much compression we get. So the harder we drive it, the more compression we get, and we still use the output gain to level match or to do gain staging. Anything you want to do with this compressor, you can do that way. But that is how we achieve our compression. All right, so I have this set up on a bunch of different tracks. Let's make these a little bit bigger. First thing we're going to hear it on is the drums. Then we're going to go bass, some guitars, some vocals, and finally on the mix bus. I was using the Alicia Compressor on it, also from Plugin-Alliance. This is one of my favorite drum bus compressors, but I'm going to go ahead and bypass this. Okay, so I pulled open the Acme compressor here, and I have it set to the normal response setting, and I'm just going to bypass it on and off, and you guys can hear what it's doing. All right, here we go. Okay, let's check it out on fast. So I don't know if you guys could tell, but when I switched it over to fast, you started hearing a little bit more breakup happening, a little bit more harmonic distortion. Obviously with this compressor, the harder we drive it, the more breakup we're eventually going to get, especially on the fast response. But I think that's brilliant because we can toggle between slow, normal, and fast. And, depending on how much breakup we want, we can absolutely control that. I'm going to bypass this now, and I'm going to put the compressor back on. And then I have another instance of the Acme setup here, but this is in amp mode now. So this is going to add that harmonic character. We're not going to be doing any compression, so you can hear what that sounds like. All right, here we go. So with this on, I really feel like I hear the kick drum just getting a lot more weight, a lot more punch, just a lot more. It really thickens up the sound in a great way. Real quick, let's pop it on normal and hear what it sounds like. Again, the same overall tonality, just with a little bit less of that harmonic saturation going on. Very, very cool. Sounds great on both, with compression and without. Let's bypass that. So let's check out what it sounds like on the bass guitar. On the basses, I have a bass DI and a bass amp set up. I was using an LA2A on it. This is what it sounded like on the LA2A. But I'm going to go ahead and bypass that. We're going to put the Acme on. So I had this set to normal right now, and let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, let's check it out on fast. And I gotta say that this bass is hands down one of my favorite places to use this compressor. I think it really shines on the bass. Whether you're putting it directly on the track or you're going to use it on a bass bus and blend two different bass signals together, I think this is absolutely outstanding on any of your bass tracks. So next up, we're going to check it out on the Acoustics. I have it on the acoustic bus. Here's what the Acoustics sound like without it. Okay, and let's put it on, and this is on the normal response. Really love how you can hear the tube emulation really smoothing the transients, really gluing the two acoustics together. I find that acoustic guitars are probably one of the most difficult things to compress well. I don't always often use compression on acoustic guitars just because they can be tricky, but I really like what this is doing to it. Let's check it out on fast. Again, I still think it sounds good. I'd probably go with the normal setting in my mix here, but nonetheless, both are extremely usable. Going down to the electrics, let's pop them on these guys. And okay, here's the electrics bypassed. No compression on the guitar bus. Okay, we're gonna put it in on the normal response. Let's check it out on fast. All right, very cool. now we're going to go to the lead vocal real quick and listen to what it sounds like on that. The lead vocal, well, just vocals in general, I think this is, again, another place that this compressor really, really, really excels. This is actually knocked some other stuff that I have in my template off of there. I have now implemented this into it, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So this is on the normal setting. I'm just going to play it from a verse, and we'll just listen to it for a little bit, and then we can bypass it in and out. Here we go.
Slip into that old dusty town. A ball man gonna fill me up. Said what you doing out here on the road. Well, I could use just a little more luck.
All right, so let me just loop a section and we'll toggle it on and off.
Well, I could use just a little more luck. Well, I could use just a little more luck. Well, I could use just a little more luck. Well, I could use just a little more luck.
Let's go to another one.
Slip into that old dusty town. Slip into that old dusty town. Slip into that old dusty town.
Awesome. I mean, I think it glues it. It really lifts it. It makes the vocal sound bigger than it is, and that's what I love about it. Let's try it on fast. Play it from the top again.
Slip into that old dusty town. A ball man gonna fill me up. Said what you doing out here on the road. Well, I could use just a little more luck.
Okay, and we'll loop a section.
Said what you doing out here on the road. Said what you doing out here on the road. Said what you doing out here on the road.
That is just amazing what that's doing to the vocal. Really, really loving it. And finally, I have this on the mix bus, so let's hear what it sounds like on the whole mix. I typically would not use an optical compressor on my mix bus just because typically, you know, the attack and release time being fixed is usually too slow. But I'll tell you what, this sounds really, really good. Gonna bypass, I had an SSL on here. Let's open the Acme, and I have this on normal. So I'm just gonna pop it in and out. We'll go from chorus again. Here we go.
And I'll try, and not just try. Down I-95, I got Georgia on my mind. It's the kind of time when the sun looks through the sky. Are we gonna get there tonight?
Sounded really, really good. Let's try it on fast. I think the fast might be a little bit too crunchy for it, but let's listen to it anyway.
And I'll try, and not just try. Down I-95, I got Georgia on my mind. It's the kind of time when the sun looks through the sky. Are we gonna get?
Again, it's really surprising how good it sounds on the mix bus for being an optical compressor. And one last thing, I just have an instance of it in the amp mode here, and this is very, very cool. I really like the Acme on the amp mode on the 2-bus. Just adds all that beautiful weight and gives you those even order harmonics and gives you a little bit of saturation. It's really fantastic. This is on normal, and this is the amp mode.
And I'll try, and not just try. Down I-95, I got Georgia on my mind. It's the kind of time when the sun looks
lastly on fast.
And I'll try, and not just try. Down on 95, I got Georgia on my mind. It's the kind of time when the sun looks through the sky.
All right, so there you guys have it. That is the Acme Opticom XLA-3 from the good folks at Brainworks and Plugin-Alliance. This is hands down one of my favorite new compressors out there. I'm using this all over my mixes. Highly recommended. Check it out, pluginalliance.com. Go get yourself a copy. Really, really loving it. My name is Pete from mixbetternow.com. As always, I really, really appreciate your time. If you guys haven't already, please do me a favor. Please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Get on that email list. Get yourself a free swag bag and enjoy it. I will catch you guys on the next video, and I hope you have a great day.